Hi, welcome to my sixth video for second unit of engineering thermodynamics. Here we are going to discuss about Carnot engine. The various topics which were covered for the second unit is about introduction, what is the importance of second law of thermodynamics and what are all the various statements and their violations, what is heat engine, what is its performance and efficiency, what are reverse heat engines of refrigerator and heat pump, how their performance like coefficient of performance is measured, when it is possible to reverse the direction, what is spontaneous direction, process direction, and what is the direction of non-spontaneous processes, how reversibility and irreversibility is playing a key role in the effect of the heat and energy transformations. Likewise, we have covered all the important fundamentals, and now I am moving to Carnot engine, which is also working same as heat engines, whereas in Carnot engines we are now going to define the processes, various types of processes which constitute the Carnot cycle, so that the final outcome or the result or the efficiency of the Carnot engine would be extremely high, or since it is a idealized condition which cannot be practically possible to execute, and thus the efficiency of the Carnot engine would be the maximum efficiency than other cycles. Okay, so let us move into the slides. Okay, so Carnot cycle and Carnot engine. Here, but a cycle, you know what is cycle. So heat engine and refrigerator, heat pump, all the reversed heat engines and the normal spontaneous heat engines are working in a cyclic process. The four processes that are consisting in this Carnot cycle are reversible isothermal expansion process, reversible adiabatic expansion process, reversible isothermal compression process, and reversible adiabatic compression process. So here also you can see all the four processes are reversible. Two processes consist of isothermal process, two process consist of adiabatic process, and two compression and two expansion processes, right? Okay, already I told you always there would be four types of process, one heating, cooling, compression, expansion. So here also it is having the same concept only, but it's spelled in a different way. The first condition for executing this Carnot cycle is all the process should be reversible, and of course isothermal and adiabatic means isothermal means we have to maintain a constant temperature during that process. Adiabatic means there should not be any heat transfer in or out of the system. So all these conditions, if it is executed in a right manner, then we could have achieved the Carnot cycle. Okay, so here first let me explain. The first process is ideal gas in a particular piston cylinder arrangement absorbs the heat in amount of heat from a heat source. So it is a heating process, constant temperature heating process at a higher temperature. And next, when after it absorbs the higher amount of heat energy, now it is expansion, undergoing the expansion process, so that the work will be delivered. And reversible isothermal compression process is nothing but now it is the heat is released to the lower temperature sink. And then finally reversible adiabatic gas compression process is nothing but here the system is thermally insulated. Okay, and thus adiabatic process is surroundings continue to do the work to the gas, which causes the temperature to rise back to T higher temperature. Okay. So here you can see the working of Carnot heat engine, like from the source which has the higher temperature of T1, the heat is being supplied to the system. At that time, when the heat is being supplied, this heat supply process or heating process is taken place at constant temperature, maintenance of constant temperature, so that it is called reversible isothermal heating process. Okay, and the gas, since the gas is heated, it starts to expand. By doing that expansion process, when it is doing the work, at that time we are changing the cover from diathermic to adiabatic cover, so that we are getting the adiabatic process. And then after the expansion, now if you want to compress, then next the heat is rejected, the unwanted heat is rejected to the sink with lower temperature. Okay, as we are doing in the condenser. Okay, and then during that heat rejection process also, we are changing it to diathermic cover, and by maintaining the constant temperature, we are removing the heat. And then next process is expansion process, by covering the cylinder by adiabatic cover, so that no heat transfer out of the system. Okay. So here you can see very clearly, here it was depicted, number 1 to 2 isothermal heat supplied at constant temperature. Okay, so heat is supplied, but we have to maintain the temperature. Okay, T1 is equal to T2 equal to T, that is higher temperature of source. Second, 2 to 3 is adiabatic process, in which pressure is expanded after it has been absorbed by the heat supply. And then 3 to 4, again here isothermal process, here heat is rejected at constant temperature, so T3 equal to T4 equal to T lower sink temperature. And then finally again it is being compressed by adiabatic process from 1 to 4 to 1. Okay, so this has been shown in the TS diagram, in which two isothermal processes are there, so T1 and T2, and two adiabatic process. Reversible adiabatic process means it is nothing but constant entropy process. So here two entropies have been fixed, here two temperatures have been fixed, and that we are getting a rectangle box which shows the heat supplied, which is equal to T1 into SB minus SA, that is entropy difference. So TdS equation will give you the heat supplied through this cycle. So here again it is clearly expanded, 1 to 2 isothermal expansion and 2 to 3 is adiabatic expansion, again isothermal compression and isothermal expansion. So whatever it was explained, that they have drawn in a represented in a PV diagram. So Carnot cycle efficiency is same as whatever we have defined in the heat engines. 1 minus QL by QH is equal to 1 minus TL minus TH. Why here Q was represented as temperature is for a reversible cycle. That is the ratio of constant temperature source and the sink can be represented or expressed in terms of temperatures. Okay. And this is the derivation for Carnot cycle efficiency. The efficiency is work done divided by heat supplied. So heat supplied, work done is again heat supplied minus heat rejected. So you can write Q supplied minus Q rejected by heat supplied. So efficiency is equal to heat supplied minus heat rejected by heat supplied. Heat supplied again, here you can write the equation as this is for isothermal process. Heat transferred for the isothermal process is P1 V1 ln of V2 by V1. That can be written as P1 V1 can be replaced by MRT1, like here heat rejected. Okay, and then since the volume we can replace. Why? Because no this here V3 by V2, V3 by V2 is equal to V4 by V1, and thus now here substituting all the values you can able to by the mathematical juggleries and reductions will give you the efficiency is equal to 1 minus T3 by T1. Okay, so it is considered as a steady flow system, this Carnot engine. What is this steady we meant is, as already we have discussed in the first unit, steady means no property changes with respect to time, that is mass in is equal to mass out, energy in is equal to energy out. As far as this working substance circulation is concerned, here whatever the mass coming inside the system will be exactly coming out, and the energy transfer, the total heat energy coming in would be exactly equal to net heat net work output from the system. Okay, so here we can write W net equal to WT minus WP, which is exactly equal to Q net, that is Q1 minus Q2. Okay, so this is the system boundary, and we are now considering the amount of substance which is being circulated inside the system. Okay, so Carnot cycle is impossible to execute in practice due to the following reasons. Number one, it is impossible to transfer the heat without a temperature potential. Okay, so you know very well that if there is a temperature gradient, then only we can transfer the heat from one place to another place, and isothermal process can be achieved only if the piston moves very slowly to allow the heat transfer so that the temperature remains constant. This is very valuable point which has to be noted, that that is, you are supplying the heat to one system, but its temperature should not be raised. How is it possible? So it is you could be able to do it practically only if the piston moves or takes the heat, supplied with the very slower manner and very slower manner, in such a way that each and every piece of our kilojoules of heat should be absorbed by the molecules, so that its temperature would not be increased. Okay, immediately it has to be digested. That much slow process is needed for the piston to execute the isothermal process. Adiabatic process can be achieved only if the piston moves as fast as possible, so that the heat transfer is negligible due to very short time available. So here second valuable point is, isothermal process is possible only when the piston moves very slowly, and adiabatic process is possible only if the piston moves as fast as possible, so that no heat transfer would be zero. Okay, why? Because we should not allow the system to do the heat transfer with the surroundings. Okay, so the isothermal and adiabatic process takes place during the same stroke. Therefore, the piston has to move very slowly and very fastly for the part of the stroke, and it has to move very fast during remaining stroke. Okay, so this is not possible. This variation of movement of the piston during the same stroke is not at all possible, and it is impossible to perform a frictionless process. So thus it is called the hypothetical or ideal cycle. Okay, so isothermal process needs very slower movement of piston, and adiabatic process needs very faster movement of piston. So that also have to be happen in the same stroke. Okay, so since that is not at all possible. Okay, so thanks for patient listening. Continuously watch my videos and learn and enrich your knowledge. Meet you in next video. Dr. Suja now signing off. Thank you.